You might be a horror movie expert, but here are 10 things you didn't know about Creepshow.
Dread Alert Media.
Hello my fellow Dreadites, welcome to Dread Alert. I'm Vince and today we are talking about the anthology series Creepshow. Creepshow features a wraparound story and 5 segments written by Stephen King and directed by George A. Romero. Father's Day, Something to Tide You Over, and They're Creeping Up on You were written for the film. The Crate was based on Stephen King's short story, The Crate, and The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill was based on Stephen King's short story, Weeds. Now let's get creepy with the 10 things you didn't know about Creepshow. Tom Atkins and Joe Hill star in the wraparound story. Joe Hill is famously Stephen King's son. Stephen King didn't want to be alone on set while filming The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill, so he had his son cast as the boy in the wraparound story. Tom Savini served as ad hoc babysitter, with Joe Hill running around the special effects department for about 7 days. John Amplas, who you may remember from Martin, Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead, played Nathan Grantham when he was in his decomposed state. John played him for most of those shots, although he refused to do the scenes where Nathan had maggots on his face. Interestingly, the owner of the Abbott house where they filmed Father's Day used the hole they dug for John to emerge from as a grave for his dog who unfortunately passed during the filming. There is a marble ashtray that appears in various capacities across all 5 of the segments, although George Romero wasn't sure if it was edited out of The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill. And speaking of The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill, Pittsburgh-based actor Bingo O'Malley is the only other person besides Stephen King to appear in that segment. He plays both Jordy's doctor and Jordy's father. Bingo was extremely supportive of us when we opened our theater company, and I will be forever grateful to him for that. Something to Tide You Over was edited by George A. Romero on his old Moviola flatbed editor like he liked to do, and it features the first appearance of the name Castle Rock on the sign in the opening shots of that segment. Most of the film was shot at an abandoned all-girls school in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, with the beach scenes for Something to Tide You Over shot in Ocean City, Maryland. Tom Savini lived on the house set and slept on the couch from Something to Tide You Over for most of production, which is a Romero group thing to do. They all lived in that farmhouse from Night of the Living Dead without running water, with only a refurbished kitchen to keep them human. During production of Something to Tide You Over, Leslie Nielsen would keep a fart machine hidden in his hand and would make inappropriate fart noises at inappropriate times. This just seems like something Leslie Nielsen liked to do. The monster from the crate was affectionately called Fluffy by the production team. Tom Savini had a crate from production and traded it to Greg Nicotero in exchange for Gort from The Day the Earth Stood Still. George Romero had Tom Savini build a bronze claw for Fluffy. It was used during production, but the shots were never used in the segment, and Tom Savini injured his shoulder filming that so badly that he can't raise his arm above his head now. E.G. Marshall actually did his own roach stunts in They're Creeping Up on You. In fact, they had over 250,000 roaches that they bred specifically for the production because it was cheaper to breed them than buy them. But that wasn't enough. They had to paint peanut shells black to get enough roach extras. Only the trained roaches were used in the close-up shots. Before we move on to our last creepy fact, did you learn something new today? If so, let us know in the comments. Lastly, Tom Savini actually appears in this Romero film as well as Garbage Man number 2. Marty Schiff gets the Garbage Man number 1 credit and will not let Tom Savini forget about it. Those are our 10 facts about Creepshow that you didn't know. If you want more horror movie facts you didn't know, check out our video on From Beyond, and as always, stay spooky, my friends.